So friends, we are discussing what is the meaning of place of supply for the purpose of GST, and the last video we ended by preparing this chart, that for the purpose of goods, or rather in relation to goods, the place of supply will be determined as per section 10 and 11, and in relation to goods it will be decided as per section 12 and 13, right? Now we take up specifically this part. So let us draw the chart again, that is place of supply in relation to goods. So this is place of supply in relation to goods. Okay, now this is having two sections therein. One is section 10, which is the main section, and then we have section 11, right? Section 11, this is applicable only in case of import and export. Import and export, right? In case of import, the place of supply is the location, or you can say place of business of the importer, the registered place of business of the importer, right? Now in this case, you can assume a situation where importer is based, say, in Baroda, and the goods are imported through vessel in Mumbai. Now Mumbai and Baroda, these are in two different states. One is Maharashtra, another is Gujarat. But this says in case of import, the place of business of the importer shall be the place of supply. It means when the goods are transported from Mumbai to Baroda, it will not be considered as an interstate transaction. Rather, till the goods are received by the importer in his place of business, he will have to pay only IGST, right? So that is why it is important, the place of business of the importer. Now in case of export, the place of supply shall be outside India, and once it is outside India, the question of taxability does not arise. So therefore export is defined as zero rated supply, right? So section 11 is very simple, only in case of import and export, right? In case of import, the place of supply is the place of business of the importer, and in case of export, the place of supply shall be outside India, and being outside India, it means no taxability, and all exports are defined as a zero rated supplies, right? Now coming to section 10, this is important. Various situations are covered. So this is all supplies other than imports and exports, other than import and export. So you can say domestic only, right? In this, the first situation is goods are required to be moved. Goods are required to be moved. Now who's moving, that is not important. By supplier or recipient. The question is where the delivery of the goods is given to the customer. Lots of people follow a practice delivery of the goods given at the factory gate. But when you do the shopping and you buy some items from the market, quite possible it is a door delivery. So door delivery means the delivery will be given to you at your doorstep. So that depends upon whether movement is involved or not involved, and that becomes immaterial who is moving the goods. The place of supply shall be the place where goods are delivered to customer, or you can say to the recipient. So where the goods are delivered to the customer, that place will be called as place of supply. So if the goods are sold X factory, then the factory itself becomes the place of supply. If goods are supplied to the customer at the doorstep, then that doorstep becomes the place of supply. So this is important, where the delivery is given to the customer. Right. Now once the delivery has been given to the customer and then customer is taking on his own, then this is not covered here. So goods are required to be moved. Who's moving, that is not important, but movement up to the place where the delivery will be given to the customer, that is important for us. So the place where delivery is given to the customer, that becomes the place of supply. Number 2 comes, these are goods delivered to recipient on instruction of third person. Quite possible the principal is instructing the supplier or the vendor to deliver the goods to the job worker. Simple example. So where the goods are delivered to the recipient on the instruction of third person, in this situation the place of supply shall be the place of business of third person, on whose instructions the goods are delivered to recipient. So where the goods are delivered to a person who is called as a recipient, but on the basis of instruction given by third person, then the goods are deemed to have been delivered to that person. And the place of delivery, place of supply, shall be the place of that third person on whose instruction the goods are being delivered. So in this case, who is situated where, that becomes absolutely immaterial. So here you can take an example that here is a supplier. Supplier is based in Mumbai, and there is a customer. He is based in Ahmedabad. Now this customer is instructing the supplier to deliver the goods to the job worker, and this job worker is also in Mumbai. Right? Now what shall be the place of supply? Right? Now this is saying goods delivered to recipient. Who will be the recipient? The recipient is the job worker. On the instruction of third person. Who is the third person? The customer. The place of supply shall be the place of business of third person. So who is the third person? This customer. Right? So the customer is the third person. Now as per this provision, the place of supply shall be the place of business of third person on whose instruction the goods are delivered to the recipient. So actually goods are being shifted from Mumbai to Mumbai. But what is being presumed? The presumption is that goods are delivered to customer. So the place of business of the customer on whose instruction the goods are delivered to the third person, that becomes the place of supply. Right? So this is something interesting. It may happen other way around. Right? Now we can change the situation. Now let us change the situation. Now there is one supplier who is in Mumbai. Customer also happens to be in Mumbai. And the job worker may be in Surat. Now what will happen? Now from Mumbai goods are moving to Surat, but actually the place of supply will be decided between these. So the place of business of the customer will become the place of supply. And what will be considered as that goods are supplied by the supplier to the customer within Mumbai. So place of supply is Mumbai, and then this person is deemed to have made a further supply. Okay, so in this case also the place of supply will be this, not this. Okay, so this is second situation where the goods are delivered to a person on the instruction of third person. Okay, now coming to the next one. This is no movement is required. No movement is required. So goods are already lying at one place and it is only the transfer of title. Goods will continue to be at the same place. Example, there is a seller. Seller is having the goods in a warehouse. Now this warehouse may be of a third person. He is selling the goods to the customer, but goods continue in the same warehouse. Goods do not move from there. Now what can be taken example that seller is in Mumbai, customer is in Chennai, and this is in Bangalore. Right, all three different states. But what we are going to decide here is that if no movement is involved, so seller is selling the goods lying in the warehouse to the customer who is based in Chennai, but the goods will continue to be in the same warehouse, means at the time of transfer of title no movement of the goods is involved. In this situation, the place of supply shall be the location of goods. Location of goods. At what time? When the title is transferred, when the supply takes place. So supply is transfer of title in this case. So no movement of goods is involved. Now I'll give you another example. There is a manufacturer. He is based in Mumbai. He has given a machine on lease to a customer based in Bhopal. This is a contract of service which is not governed by this section because we are talking about the goods. So initially this manufacturer who is based in Mumbai, he has given some machine on lease to a customer based in Bhopal, and now when the goods are already in the factory of the customer in Bhopal, the customer agrees to buy. So in this case, now these are sold, right? Subsequently those are being sold. So machinery is already at the factory of the customer in Bhopal, and initially those were taken on lease, so at that time it was a service, but now the title is being transferred. The place of supply will be Bhopal, where the goods are. So place of supply shall be the location of the goods at the time of supply. Okay, so this is another case where no movement is involved. Then the fourth case is goods are required to be assembled. Goods are required to be assembled at site. Goods are required to be assembled or erected at site. In this case, the place of supply shall be the place where goods are assembled or fabricated, whatever name is given. So we have already talked about four situations. Number one, where goods are being moved. Situation number two, goods delivered to a person on the instruction of third person. Situation number three, goods are not being moved. Situation number four, goods are being assembled. Right? Now fifth situation, situation number 5, this is goods supplied on board any conveyance. So this conveyance may be bus or train or aircraft or vessel or something else, right? So the first supply is by the supplier to the conveyance, and then from conveyance to the customer. So that will be a second supply. So we are talking about the first supply. So it is actual supplier to conveyance to customer. So this is supply number 1, this is supply number 2. We are talking about supply number 1. What shall be the place of supply, right? In this case, we will talk about later on, because supply of the material on board, that is not considered a supply of goods, that is treated as a supply of service. So that will be covered in section 12. Okay, so this is actual supplier supplying the goods to the bus or train or aircraft or any conveyance, and those goods will be supplied further. In this case, the place of supply shall be the place wherefrom goods are taken on board. Right? Now let us assume there is Chennai to Delhi flight. Right? When the flight starts from Chennai, whatever goods are taken on board from Chennai, for that the place of supply will be Chennai. Then this flight is having a halt in between in Mumbai. So from Mumbai, again some more goods are supplied. So for the goods supplied at Mumbai, the place of supply will be Mumbai. So goods are taken on board from Chennai, so place of supply is Chennai. Goods taken on board from Mumbai, so the place of supply becomes Mumbai. Okay, so it is as simple. So in section 10 we have 5 situations covered. First situation, movement. Second situation, delivery to another person. Third situation, this is no movement. Fourth situation, assembly. And fifth is supply to conveyance. So whether movement is involved or no movement is involved, or there is a delivery to the third person, or there is assembly or supply to conveyance. So five type of situations are already given. And then subsection 2 says, if the place of supply cannot be decided as per this rule, then those shall be decided in the prescribed manner. So friend, these are the provisions in relation to determination of place of supply in relation to goods. So actually in your notebook you might be having only one page chart, and that will be sufficient, right? In the next video we'll talk about the place of supply in relation to services.